I'm an insomniac and I can't sleep. I'm going to try to be quiet, so you may have to turn your volume up to hear me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this response video, which I've not watched, but I'm going to go through it. And I'm just want to preface this by saying, listen, I'm a retired parole officer and a retired counselor. Just because I will notice things or speak about patterns of speech or delivery method does not mean that the tactic I'm identifying is what he is meaning to use. He could just be doing something that is coming across that I'm picking up, and it may not be his intention behind it, but I'm seeing it for how I'm trained. So, let me preface this by saying, I'm not trying to dog this young man. Obviously, if church saw something worthwhile within him, we all know he's talented, we've heard the talent, but if church saw something within this young man to pluck him from the streets and help him, then obviously there is something within this young man that needs to come out. I'm doing this in hopes that perhaps he will take a moment to see himself through someone else's eyes, to learn to break down his behavior, and to, if he's using communication as a manipulation, to start communicating effectively for the right reasons rather than using it to manipulate people. And I'm going to be completely honest, but in no way am I saying that this young man should be dogged, harassed, none of us. Everyone that wakes up breathing has the opportunity to change their entire life, and this young man has the talent and the opportunity as well, and I hope to see great things from him in the future. I'm just going to react to what he placed on the internet strictly with my parole officer counselor eyes, and I'm trying to not use any other motivation, and I may not be kind, but I'm going to be honest, and I hope he can understand why I'm doing that. So let's start.
This is how I know how to handle this. There ain't no excuses for nothing. And it'd be wrong and disrespectful for me to try to make any excuse. Because right now, the only person that owes anybody anything is me. I owe everybody involved in this an apology.
Okay. So from the first thing I can see, he's got his head down, his chin tucked, his eyes are looking down, he's got a look of submission, his body language, his shoulders are hunched down. He's saying, I'm being submissive, and his words are saying that as well. I owe somebody something, I owe you all something, I can't basically explain for the behavior. So far I'm seeing submission. Let's just move on to see if it's authentic. Now, I will say that when you say there's no way that I can apologize, you're kind of scapegoating. There's always a way to clear things up. But anyway, let's just keep going. Downward glance, pulling you in emotionally.
Although everything that was said in that conversation, it was illegally recorded with no consent and published.
Whole. He jumped to, although everything in that was illegally recorded and published with no consent, he just went to, okay, there's a fork in the road. I can either talk about the content that was published or how it was published, and he chose to go with how it was published, which means the content is still over here not being handled, which tells me we're wanting to focus on the way it was published because we're not quite ready to handle what was said. And you can always say that it was illegally recorded, but there is no denial that those were your words. So, fork in the road, maybe the wrong choice of forks.
With no regard. And first things first, to the person who recorded this conversation and published it without any consent.
Eye contact, but now he's going down again.
You
So a
know
little
you're
bit of an
wrong.
area, but then he's submissive.
And I am pursuing this situation in regards to you illegally.
Okay, did you say I am pursuing the situation in regards to... I'd be surprised. That wasn't a very strong stance on that.
Recording this conversation and illegally publishing it to a public site.
Now, I will
If you
say,
do not take this video down and leave everything
as I said in my other videos, that fella should not have put his friend's business on the internet. It's always wrong.
alone and stop, I will pursue you legally.
A little bit more dedication to that one.
That being said, just because he is wrong for illegally recording a conversation and posting it
Fork in the road again.
doesn't mean that I'm right in anything that I said.
Okay.
I have never been known to get life right, and it is my fault and nobody else's. No one. My
Okay.
bitter self got in my head for so long and told myself all these things were true and, just all this, that, and it's...
Okay, now hang on just a second. I'm just going to make an observation. All of a sudden we went from deadpan, submissive, shoulders down, looking down, to now we're chin up, we're starting to get animated, and we're starting to get a little bit defensive, which would tell me that emotionally he's probably not seated in a place of respect or accountability, but he's more in a defensive and angry place, which means this is probably not very heartfelt, though it probably is very well manufactured. And sometimes one can lead to the other. I'm going to hold out hope, but not always. Not always. Let's just keep going.
It's me. It's me. It's no one or nothing they did or nothing I heard or thought I heard or exaggerated or just it's...
Ooh. We got a flag on the field. Okay. Did you hear him even get so animated that he took that big puff of he sucked like a cribbing horse? Nothing that I heard or I thought I heard, or he's already giving himself more forks in the road. Y'all, when you apologize, just go down the road. Go down the one road, lay yourself out, say you did it wrong, hold yourself accountable, and say you're sorry, and say I'm going to try to never do this again, and please hold me accountable if I start to go down this road again. Don't start to give yourself multiple outlets, because then your apology will get so convoluted that you forget what you're apologizing for. Then you're going to become defensive because you're going to start to get resentful that you're having this long-winded apology, and then it turns from an apology to to a I digress, now I'm angry again situation, and it just never ends up well. So let's see how this goes, but I'm flag on the field. And he got really animated right then. I didn't like that.
These poor people have dealt with shit like this so many times. I can't even believe that this situation is a real thing right now.
It's a real thing
Because in
you
all
said
reality,
it.
I never in a million damn years would have said anything like that in the public's eye.
But you said it in a private place. So why
For a
wouldn't you
simple
said it in a
fact
public
of-
place?
I don't know if any of it's really true. For all I know,
Oh, Lord, we just clutched our pearls. Thelma, did you see that? Okay, listen, I know I'm an asshole sometimes, but these are all very important things. Now look, his chin's coming up. We're getting a little bit more arrogant. We're getting a little bit more defensive. Animation. When he gesticulates and you do very big it's because normally the substance of what you're saying is not very prominent, so you have to make you have to make it look good. It has to be theatrical. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, he's wanting me to follow his hands because the substance in his words is not going to be there. Which tells me, how many forks in the road are we on now? Dude, just apologize and own it. It's okay. You can say I was wrong. I did something horribly wrong. And don't say I would never have said it in a public place, because you should never have said it. Public or private, you said it. If it was untrue, it was unfounded, then it was a lie, it was malicious, and you said it with malfeasance, and it shouldn't have been said at all. So the placement of where you said it is not near as important as the fact that you said it at all. And I think this is going to be something that you probably need to work on in life with everyone that you deal with, not just previous employers and people that you probably should be talking about because they did you a solid a long time ago. You know, I'm just going off hunches here, but that's what I'm saying.
Something I thought I heard 6 years ago, something anybody could have said, out of the many people just in and out, and it could have been, some of those things were fucked up jokes that I just didn't know how to take because I'm just an obsessive person and I'm really literal.
No, you're a grown-ass adult who knows how to talk. You know how to be socially aware. Even if you may have certain social deficiencies, you were able to procure a job and become somewhat reasonably successfully occupied and well known for an amount of time, which tells me you functioned highly. So now we can't slide backwards and say, but I don't function highly, because we already know you do function highly. And that's like saying, I'm going to be a 35-year-old man, but I'm going to tell you I process as a 3-year-old, even though you've seen me function at age level. No. It's not time to go get your binky and your blankie. It's time to fess up and own your behavior and stop giving yourself forks in the road. Own your behavior.
And very defensive. That is my nature.
You think?
And I take things way too serious sometimes, and I speak before I really even know the truth. I just assume I know because I'm bitter and I think I'm owed something, and that's not how the world works. It's not. When good people help you...
That would be things I learned this week for 500, Alex.
You don't deserve that help, but they help you and insist on helping you. You don't get lost in all the bullshit and just listen to everything or assume you heard something and talk about it. You don't do that. And
Okay, but why did you do that? I mean, I saw the jazz hands. A for effort. You're committing. But you just said people shouldn't do that. You didn't hold yourself accountable and tell us why you specifically should not have done it. And then corrected your behavior by apologizing for it. Theatrics. I think you've learned how to talk to people to get what you need momentarily, and not how to talk to people to build relationships. Spitballing here. Just spitballing.
there's no truth in anything I said in that conversation.
Okay, I'll take that one.
No one, I could never know. No one could ever know if it's just a fucked up joke or something I heard or didn't hear, and it could just be that.
No, there is an authentic truth that we can all kind of feel out and understand, kind of rationally, logically what mostly happened in that scenario. Will people on the outside ever 100% know exactly? No. But we can feel it out. But once again, you're giving yourself these options, these other forks, and these other emotional outs, and you're just running. You're running from the accountability. And to be quite honest, accountability is about the only thing that's going to save your hide, with fans right now. But I would also say that if it's something you're struggling with on this platform, it's probably something you're struggling with, again, in real life. So again, please understand that I'm looking at this from a specific vantage point that may be helpful for you. And you may need to learn to see yourself in the way that others see you so that you can learn to see your own red flags and to learn to identify when you're, pulling your own stunts and begin to realize that people see it and it's easily seen. That being said, I would also like to offer at this time that if you are super struggling and you need resources and aid, you can always comment below or you can email me at watersworkload@gmail.com and I will help you find resources in your area. I'm not practicing anymore. This is just me spitballing, giving advice, and doing a reaction. But I can always help you narrow down in a geographic location the options you have for resources available for you to choose. So if that's just something that you've not been able to do and you think you need to do it, please reach out.
I upset so much and was so bitter and so angry and all this that,
No, I believe that.
I resorted to just saying whatever I thought. Again, it's just
So close.
wrong. It's wrong to be bitter and lie and exaggerate and talk about things that you just don't know about fully, just out of raw emotions and just
She's getting so close.
ignorance, not knowing anything,
Deviating.
and just caught up in just
You lie
trying
for
to
personal
sort through
gain.
what you think is real.
No, you
and
lie
feeling
for
like
personal gain.
you're kind of crazy because you don't even know what's real. And
Don't even pull out the crazy card, young man, because we've all seen you function at high capacity. We know you can function. Don't pull the crazy card out, because I'm here to tell you, normal is more fleeting in society. Normal people are what scare me, because we're all dysfunctional at some level. So don't even try to do the I'm the crazy card and get out of this, because you know something, we're all crazy in some capacity. So throw that out. Stop making justifications and outs for your behavior. Stop making a slide under the barbed wire fence. Just hit the fence. Just hit the fence. And say, I lied. I lied for personal gain in a momentary time frame because I needed whatever I was going to gain at that time. What I said was not true, was said with a little bit of malicious intent because I needed to prop myself up, either emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, somehow. And I should not have said it. The things I said were not true, and I apologize. I mean, it's that easy. But you get there, and then if you were a beagle, you would never be able to trail a rabbit, because about the time you come back full circle, you'd run, and you'd never complete the circle. I need you to complete the circle instead of then going off on another one. Okay, so get your nose to the ground. Let's work harder.
For years I've just messed things up, and these
Okay.
people
Yeah,
are the
right.
last people who deserve bullshit like this.
Okay, so why do you spew bullshit then? If people don't deserve it, why do you continue
I owe
to
you
give it to
guys a
them?
public apology
Thank you.
for everything and everyone involved. I don't
Why did-
expect anybody
why
to
did you have
accept
the
it.
need to
It would
involve
be
them?
unrealistic to just think that.
He's thinking real
I
hard.
owe an amount of respect to church and everybody involved with him in any way.
I owe an amount of respect. An amount of respect. Word choice is very important. And he's thinking right now. And he is meticulously choosing his words right now. He's calculating right now.
To let them live their life that they've earned and worked.
Word choice, to let them live their life. Oh, dominance. I am the social hierarchy. I owe them an amount of respect to let them. Ooh, we are in control of the power. I am human. I'm sorry. Do you understand how that sounds very arrogant and pompous, and as if you are doling out that you graciously are going to allow them to get back to the normalcy of their life now that you can give this roundabout of an apology? Oh, it's not from a good place, right? Like here's your heart, here's the cockles of your heart. And that came from nowhere in a 20-mile radius, just to let you know. Just accountability, young man. What's going on that even though you're on the internet and you're having to acknowledge that you misspoke, that you degraded someone you shouldn't have degraded, and that you manipulated someone else who then turned around and manipulated you, and that you're on the internet now attempting to apologize for it, but you're just not getting there. So what is all this dog and pony show for? Because it's not for an apology. It wasn't to threaten the other little guy. Because the way you said it when you said you were, no, I don't believe you're going to follow through with anything, because it would just circle back and pinch you in the butt. Sorry. You know, I mean, it's just hit dog hollers. So what's the point to this? Other than manipulation. Because I'm not seeing anything other than manipulation. Manipulation. Emotional damage. Y'all, it's 6 a.m. and I have not slept well, so just deal with me.
Or it should never be hindered by somebody who's bitter at their damn self and just talking shit out of anger and just frustration and confusion and just
Like my violin
nothing
playing?
about this is okay and right.
Nothing about it. Not agree.
Out of respect for everybody involved, it did not deserve none of this. You'll never hear or see my face again on social media in the world anywhere.
Okay, why would you make a statement like that? Because number one, you're talented. Number two, if you have a talent, you should learn to appropriately use your talent and financially propel yourself. So nobody wants to see you disappear. We want to see you be accountable and be a positive person and say, I'm not going to take this behavior, you know, and run with it. I'm going to take accountability, take responsibility. I'm going to correct myself, and I'm going to hopefully set myself in a better trajectory, you know, moving forward. And this is how I'm going to hold myself accountable and show you that I mean it. And I don't believe you right now. I mean, I want to, buddy. I really want to. But you're being too cool hand Luke calculated. I just kicked your dog and told you I didn't right in front of your face to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And also on your forehead, it has never creased. No, there's deadpan, blank billboard space. There's been no emotion, no stress, no nothing. What's going on, bub?
When you fuck up like this, you owe it to the people you hurt and the people that, you know, your time you wasted with just shit.
That was a whole lot of nothing.
Exit their existence and let their existence be pure and good and for what it is. Without
Okay, Socrates.
a toxic fuck up somewhere fucking shit up because he's just fucked up.
Ooh, get mad again. You're getting mad again. You're defensive. But let me point out that you're being defensive about your own behavior. You're not being defensive about what somebody else did. You're not being defensive about anybody wronging you here, buddy. You are being defensive about your behavior that hurt yourself. You basically kicked yourself in the butt and then got mad because you kicked yourself in the butt. Which again is solving nothing. Let's talk about why you're kicking yourself in the butt and why you're putting yourself in these positions. Because we don't want to see you here again. So pretty words and big words and existential crisis format lingo set aside, still, there's no motivation or true apology here. There's just manipulation. And their bravado and the defense mechanisms and the head jutting up and you leaning in, that you're mad. I think you're mad at yourself, but I don't think you understand that it's you that you're mad at yet. Because you've given yourself, again, so many forks. And I think you're lost in the woods, too.
I owe all of them a public apology.
So do it.
And to never show my face anywhere
Dramatic.
ever again.
Dramatic.
And hinder their life in any way, shape, form, or fashion
Safe on the plate.
whatsoever.
Dramatic hands.
From this point forward, I will not
Preacher hands.
be in contact with any soul
Saint hands.
about this at all.
Safe.
Any contact, and it froze, but any contact towards me through the person who recorded this video about this, if you drag this out and you continue to post this, I'm pursuing you legally. What you have done is a crime.
But your words
It does not make what I
were
said
the
okay.
criminal content.
But I want you to know, the person who recorded this conversation.
Okay, listen. If you're in Tennessee, if he was in Tennessee, I'm just taking a gamble. I'm in Tennessee. If you were in Tennessee, basically only one party has to know that the conversation is being recorded. So he did nothing illegal by recording the conversation. Anyone can record a conversation. Anyone. What he may have done illegally was placing the content somewhere without authorization. But at the same time, he was legal to record it, and therefore it was his content. The things that are having the malice applied are your word choices, your statements, and the alleged disrespect that you state Upchurch has done to you. So once again, if you pursue this criminally, it's very likely just to come around and bite you in the butt again too. That's why I'm not believing this is probably going to end up in court. I think it's just, stand up and beat your fist on your chest like King Kong and try to scare everybody off. Again, do we just need an apology? If you had just got on here and said, something, I lied for personal gain, or I misrepresented the truth to make myself look good in the moment because I missed the limelight and the fame and the adoration of crowds, or if you had just gone on here and said something like that and been like, I screwed up, I shouldn't have done it, Ron, I'm sorry, and I'm going to work on being a better person because I know I need to be a better person. Dude, I would have been like, much respect, Bubba. This crap is just another dog and pony show. It's just another bait and switch. It's another form of manipulation. I'm not even halfway through, and I'm going to have to fast forward because I wasted way too much of my morning on you already. I'm sorry.
Trying to say sorry because it's fucked up,
We've said that before.
There's no
I
excuses.
didn't miss anything, did I?
You guys, I owe it to everyone. Ryan and all his people, they all deserve everything. They've worked for this shit, and
they deserve everything they work for, but they also deserve for you to say I'm sorry and what you're sorry for.
It's wrong.
So what is an apology video? And what is an apology video without an apology? It's another display. Why are we displaying this? What is the purpose for the physical display? Is it for litigation purposes? Is it to get yourself out of hot water? Is it to give you a fork in the road for your behavior because you don't understand what you're doing? Or is it to deflect and offload onto your buddy instead of whatever you think is fixing to smack you right between the eyes? And again, if you're struggling here, then you probably struggled in real life. I can talk the hind leg off a mule, but normally I have some substance to what I'm saying. And I've heard you use about the same 6 or 7 words about 15 times at this point. So I'm thinking this is rehearsed, concocted, emotionally vapid, vacant, and used just in another methodical way to conquer whatever problem you think occurred when your buddy posted that. Or it could all be part of a bigger plan that I'm too stupid to see. I have deficits. I have lots.
Many levels. I publicly apologize. I will not be in contact with anyone after this whatsoever at all. But
he publicly apologized. It's so publicly apologize. And then, but when I'm going to talk about what I actually did, I'm going to... It's like a dog circling to lay down, but he never lays down. Or a dog sniffing to shit and he never makes a pile. It's just counterproductive. It's a bit showy. There's no substance. And so that makes me think there's a different purpose behind this video altogether. And once again, we don't want you to disappear. We want you to be a responsible adult. Be positive and productive when you put yourself on a platform. And use your talent to make your life better. And we'll support that 110%. What we don't understand is why there's such a struggle occurring with such a simplistic form of communication and storytelling. Everybody's life has a story, and there's normally a consistent thread. And why does yours seem to vary between which party, crowd, or person you're with? Are you something of what you think a master manipulator? Because the gig is up if you think you are. Just FYI, the gig is up. Nobody's ever going to believe anything you say ever again at this point because you lied and now you're not holding yourself accountable in an honest way. You're saying all the right words but in all the wrong ways. Anyway, let's just keep going.
This is out of respect. You know, you have to really admit when you're wrong. And you can't have something like this happen publicly and then go try to say you're, sorry or something. Even saying sorry, it's wrong. You have to own, like, this shit it's fucked up. And
but what are you owning? What specifically did you do? You've not said it yet.
I'm figuring shit out as I go. And
I'm gonna get it right. You're figuring stuff out.
I'm gonna get me right. I'm gonna live an okay life.
No,
I'm never gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna live a good.
Don't live an okay life. Strive for the best life possible. I don't know if that was just you shortchanging yourself because you just do that, or if that was you trying to get a dig for an emotional response. That concerns me. But we want to see you have the best life possible. But we also, to have the best life possible, you have to say, I did blah, and therefore I hold myself accountable for blah, and I'm never going to do blah again, instead of this ducking job.
Where I don't fuck up. I'm almost 30, and I have time to really do good.
You do.
And I can't if I'm obsessing about things that I never should have. I sincerely, seriously apologize to everybody.
Okay. You use the word obsessive or obsessing or obsess a lot. I'm going to say at this point, if you identify this trait as such an impairment for you in your daily life, you need to seek help for that. Because until you learn why you're obsessing and why you're being counterproductive and obsessing on the wrong things or creating the wrong environments because you obsess over the wrong behaviors and you kind of set yourself up for failure, until you learn why you do it, you can't stop doing it. I hope you understand that. So, like, you can get a goat can get out of the fence 15 times, but until you know what is prompting the goat to get out and where the weak spot is, you can't repair it. Same thing in here, buddy. Your goat's out. We've got to find the weak spot in the fence, and we've got to repair it. And I think you have an error in your cognition, in your communication skills, and in I think you see communication as a form of a fight, of a dominant display, instead of a transaction, instead of an exchange of information. So that may be a place to start, just to help you out.
I hope one day people understand that I was just fucked up, angry, and talking shit about things I just never should have. And
well, so do 3-year-olds that stub their toe and throw their little lawnmower toy across the living room. But we're not 3, so we have to learn to handle it better. Thinking too much.
No one deserved it. They're really
not even you. Can you say that, buddy? Not
I'm
even you.
Here. So I don't want to keep rambling and seem like I'm just rambling, but
yeah, it does.
Lastly,
Johnny,
I'm pursuing you legally, and will pursue you legally. If anything further is posted, you need to remove that video and any video pertaining to anything of the sort.
It doesn't erase what happened. Just because you can't see it don't mean it didn't happen.
Respect and give what is owed to Church and his people. Of never hear of me again. Never see me anywhere.
Dramatic.
Whatsoever.
Don't be dramatic.
You don't owe me nothing. I was wrong for ever saying anything like that. This is what I owe you.
Okay, now I'm happier with that. Yes, but let me just stop. Okay, obviously this is someone who has a communication block of some sorts. Okay, Betty, I can see that. We can all see that. Communication's hard on a good day. Hey, it's okay. We've all been there. You're talented. Obviously, you have friends, even if they're not the best cohorts. Some days. Okay, we're gonna have to get a little bit more picky about who we spend our time with, which means we have to get a little bit more picky about how we display ourselves and who we reach out to socially, and the social platforms we put ourselves on, and the caste system, the people we place ourselves around. We have to start making better decisions, because you can erase this from the internet, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And until you start to realize why you were in that mindset at that man's house, using language to manipulate him emotionally and make him react with such pure hatred and disgust, it's going to happen again. Because you're going to cycle back and get into another mindset where you're defensive and obsessing and getting bitter again, until you stop the habit of this is how I handle things. You're going to end up here again. And I don't like to see people just repeatedly hurt themselves. This is you're hurting yourself. Regardless of the blame you're placing on other parties, you're hurting yourself. And it could be something easily rendered with just a few key cognition changes of where am I spending my time, who am I spending my time with, and what do I expect from the people I spend my time with. And a lot of that is just starting to basically look at who we are intrinsically as a human being. Who we are, how we behave, what we want out of life, and how we go after it. 4 very important motivating factors. Because the things you will justify under those 4 little motivating factors will tell you what kind of person you're going to be and who you're going to attract. That needs to be corrected. Otherwise, you know something? You're talented. Stop being a drama queen. Learn how to communicate. Get back to the get fiddle and out of the sewer. Put yourself around better people, and when you're around better people, acknowledge and respect them. And respect yourself. Because until you learn to respect yourself, you're never going to respect anyone else, and it will never change. You deserve respect. You deserve respect. But I can't do that for you. You have to come to that realization and begin to see yourself in a different light, so that you project yourself in a different manner, so that you put yourself in better places. I believe you can be there. You look tormented from Hades right now, but you're a precious little redhead. I have a little redhead, so I've got a soft spot in my heart for you. Work on yourself. You deserve everything positive you can create in this world for yourself, but you only deserve it if you create it truthfully, authentically, and without harming someone else. That's the things you need to work on. And once again, I'm not, this is just my advice. This is just me reacting to your behavior. But once again, if you're struggling and you don't know who to reach out to, email me. I'll put my email in the description. If I can figure out where you're geographically located, I can give you a list of resources that can help you start to make better and healthier choices. And that may be a life changer for you. I wish you the best, but yeah, this crap right here, if you were on my caseload and had come in for intake, and this was what you give me of the why all this occurred and how I got in trouble, I'd have been like, listen, you just drug your ass all across my carpet when there was no point to it. So you come in here with a problem and then you just made it messier. Stop making your problems messier. I think you're smarter than that. I think you are. Look in the mirror. Who do you want to be? Ryan said a lot of really great things. And whatever the pissing contest between young men, drop it. You're a grown adult man right now. You gotta act like one. Life needs to change. I hope you make the appropriate changes. And I hope you do the best, but this did not float. I give this a 2 out of 10, just because I think some people might have learned a few key phrases because you said them so much. MommaLiz out.